Ladies and gentlemen, Kazongpo and welcome to Chang Lemetang Stadium, where we arrive at the final match day of the first round of the BoB Bhutan Premier League. And what's a way to bring the curtain down? The reigning champions against one of Bhutan's biggest footballing names. It is THIMPHU FC against PARO FC. For THIMPHU, the opening weeks of the campaign have been a journey of growth. Their return to the top flight was anything but straightforward. Moments of promise, difficult afternoons, but gradually this side has begun to find their form. A major reason has been the form of Richard Wilson. The Ghanaian winger has become one of the league's most reliable attacking threats, scoring 4 goals and giving THIMPHU FC a cutting edge in the final third. And then there is Bhutan's own Sencho Gelson, a player who needs little introduction. 2 goals and 3 assists, and once again proving his influence goes far beyond the score sheet. THIMPHU begins today match 5th in the standings, knowing that victory would lift them above RTC into 4th place and provide the perfect finish to the opening round. Now, before we take our attention over to their opponents and the starting 11 for both sides, we have on the ground both teams coming on for a moment of brilliant football. Again, a reminder, it is THIMPHU FC, the Thunderbolts as they are called, versus PARO FC, the Tigers. And there on screen, the Warriors make their stand. PARO FC in their away yellow, THIMPHU FC in their stark black and yellow, black and gold as they would prefer. But before that, again to our viewers, let us observe a minute of silence, a sign of respect from both clubs over here at Chang Lemetang. A lot of these players' journeys impacted positively by Coach Ngong Dendrup, the now late but the forever great Mr. Ngong Dendrup, always in our loving memory. So our dear viewers, please to dedicate a minute of your time to the late Mr. Ngong Dendrup.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request everyone to rise and observe a minute of silence for memory of the late Coach Ngong Dendrup. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Please remain standing if you are able to for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. But without further ado, let's take a look at the starting 11 the Thunderbolts are fielding today. Under head coach Rajkumar Kurung, it is Baitika back in goal, Pramija Gachadar on the bench. It is Jimmy, it is Sudoka, it is Tension Neo, it is Siddharth Kurung who has gotten the nod to the starting 11 as well. Stefan Abeku, Kritish Chunju, Chizova Christopher, Ikove Tenzin Namgel, Tenchu Gelson, their captain, and Richard Burson. Big names we've seen deliver time and time again in big moments for THIMPHU FC, looking to make that same miracle happen against PARO. But now taking a look at the reigning champions under head coach Pushparal, it is Kelson Zangpo, their goalkeeper, Mohib Pulla, 33, Tarikazi, 40, Sidiki Jawara, 2, Nyamong, the 15, Abdullah Balde. Number 7, Tomoyuki Uno has consistently been back in the starting 11, performing absolutely amazing in his return as well. Complemented by Trim Namge Kingawachu, who has gotten the start this time. Haven't seen him in the start a long while. But alongside Yuta Mishima and Richard Sanya, that is the starting 11 for PARO FC. An amazing storyline behind their campaign thus far. In the opening weeks, in the opening couple of match days, a lot of questions were raised about PARO FC, and they have answered every single one of them. The reigning champions began the season a shock defeat to Drukpa FC 4-2 at home as well, followed by a draw that left many wondering whether this was finally the year their dominance would be challenged. Well, since then the response has been emphatic. Right now PARO FC on a 6-win streak where 29 goals were scored and just 3 conceded. A run that has reminded everyone exactly why this club has ruled Burmese football in recent years. But holding down the fort today will be Pemasong, main referee, assisted by Sring Punso and Kilapenjo, Wang Chen, the 4th official. With regards to the team, the equation today, beautifully simple. Win and PARO FC will close the first round exactly where champions expect to be, at the top of the table above Timber City, who currently have a 1 point lead. Resurgent THIMPHU FC right now looking to finish the opening round with another statement, the chance to climb over RTC and get within reach of 3rd place Transport United, and relentless PARO FC on the other side, chasing the summit once more. And here at Chang Limitang, round 1 comes to its conclusion with the fixture worthy of the occasion. Until we begin, this was your commentator, Uginta Shitochi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Favorable weather here at Chang Limitang despite a little bit of rain earlier. So hopefully it is a wonderful stage for so many heroes to be birthed. See you guys when the whistle begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And with that, Chizova Christopher Eko, we're back out to Doka for the Thunderbolt possession. Weather looking crazy today. If there ever was an opportunity for the Thunderbolts to go boom, this very well may be it. Time and time again, have THIMPHU FC come into the match carrying a lot of expectations only to be shut down, but does have a strong spell. One against Rukpa Tensung Ugin Academy, a draw versus Tirang. Ended up losing against Transport United, PFF. Right now PARO, their biggest matchup till date, as Senchu Gelson, early opportunity, but tried to side it in. Got the defender in the end. Will earn THIMPHU FC an unexpected advantage early on. Senchu Gelson springing forward, turning that shaky possession into something manageable. Siddharth Kurung. On the corner, both teams equally matched inside that box. THIMPHU Neo may look to get at the end of it himself. Udoka. THIMPHU Kelsen. An uncharacteristic mistake from the legend. Couldn't time that shot correct. It is the Tigers taking it the other way. Both teams not quite strangers towards each other. A lot of experience shared between all of them. A lot of nationalities shared as well. PARO, the only team with Pakistanis. Mohibullah and Musa Khan in the bench. Sania, Senegalese. A lot of Ghanaians and Nigerians in the squad for both THIMPHU, presenting 6 of those to themselves. A couple of big names in this bench as well for THIMPHU. A lot of options they could fall back on. Their goalkeeper Pramejak Achadar is there alongside William Opoku Sidhu, who PARO FC fans may be very familiar with. Had that penalty scored versus East Bengal, I believe, last year during PARO's campaign, behind which many Bhutanese ended up supporting them no matter what club they chose here in the BoB Bhutan Premier League. But it has instead been the Nigerian forward Chizoba who has gotten the more minutes out of the two who were brought in together by THIMPHU. Made the same start, but right now THIMPHU looking to take advantage. THIMPHU Kelsen single-handedly spearheading their efforts forward. Will drive it down the right. THIMPHU Neo, yet another veteran, clean delivery this time around. Got that header there from Chizoba Christopher Kobe. Curled it in quite nicely as well. Managed to get enough of an angle on that ball for Chizoba to get plenty of power in, but ended up going to the ground, and Gelson Zangpo can't pick up on that one. Quick to counter. Tetim Namge. Sanya. One of the league's most explosive producers this time around. Already 5 goals to his name, one of the highest in the leagues. It is Yuta Mishima up there on the top alongside Todo from BFF with 8 goals to his name. But Richard Sanya, 5 goals, but that is not the full story. 7 assists to his name as well. Currently assist leader was tied by Jonathan Zarilla of THIMPHU just recently. And a lot of well-deserved following in for his side here in the season this time around. Clean challenge coming in from THIMPHU. Jimmy Wanchu plays it down the line. Richard Wilson. Already 4 goals to his name, but again, doesn't really speak for the lack of form he had in the first couple of games. The entirety of his production coming late in their campaign as a solid delivery inside, but ended up settling right in the hands of Kelson Zangpo. Also for the fans of PARO, Evans Asante not even in the bench. I heard he was injured, not quite sure how long his recovery will take. Also no information with regards to Tiger Kitajima as well, who typically is on the bench, but his name not in the substitution lineup this time as well. Been 2 games as now the Gambian Abduli Palde, or Cavani as he's lovingly called back at home, will get a solid left foot in. Amazing pace on that one. Had the crowd on their edge of their seats. By Tika. Facing a difficult question to deal with early on. Just lucky that the question fell a bit incomplete. But not a good sign for THIMPHU's defense going forward. They will have to respect that shot from Cavani and even from Richard Sanya, who we all know will let that shot go off from anywhere. Absolutely blazing in terms of the arsenal PARO FC has built in their roster this time around. And even more amazing is the depth that they have. A lot of talent on the bench. Musa Khan, Som Tsering, who we've seen make a stellar start to his campaign back in that 11-0 victory versus Ugan Academy. Chutar, no doubt with regards to his performance ever so consistent. This time taking on that assignment versus Wilson. Allowed in an easy one up front. Will not be enough, too hefty of a touch there. Got it right back over to Nyima. Tarikazi. The Finland-born Bangladeshi. Very well spoken, very elegant in his words as well. Amazing caliber of football in that man. Chose to play for Bangladesh despite having a half Finnish, half Bangladeshi birthright. Just a fun fact about him as well, he is married to a footballer as well, so a lot of footballing genes going to be passed down. Wife a part of the Finnish women's football national team. So, well, again, elite football caliber in that family going forward. Tomoyuki Uno. Stellar since his return. Typically we do not see that impactful of a return once you come back. But for him, well, even his play style just asks it. Doesn't really require him to use that athleticism that much. It is more of his brain that is being put to the test over here in the BoB Bhutan Premier League. His simple ability tied alongside his exceptional brain and vision, just creating a lot of chances. For PARO, despite the late start, already just as much impact as the next guy in the roster. On the other end, Mohibullah, a part of the PARO FC squad since the start of this season. Plenty of ambition there with that pass, but just not quite enough on the connection there by Tika. Not quite sure who the first goalkeeper is between the two. Both of them having gotten equal minutes. They do alternate between whoever is on form, and by Tika, by all means, very elite in what he does as well. Very entertaining to watch as a goalkeeper. Very passionate about what he does. And a very charismatic person as well. Nice to see that sort of talent being put down to the game of football. Where especially being the goalkeeper, it is a very hard task on you mentally. As now Cavani keeps it under control there. Asking for that flag. That appeal is true. Flag is up. Offside. Denies any chance of progression there for PARO FC. Tincho up front. Richard Wilson looking for an angle and tried to wade past Nyima, but will get the commendation he deserves there from Tarikazi. Amazing job defensively, blocking off that run from Wilson, who otherwise is a very explosive athlete. That pace up there, especially in short butts with the likes of guys like Abayomi. Just make that distance a bit longer. Abayomi does have the advantage there, even guys like Asante, but Wilson, by no means an easy matchup. THIMPHU's number 10 going in against the double team. Tried to let one in towards Christopher. Ended up clipping a defender in the way instead. Also been a while since we saw Kinga in the starting 11 for PARO. Time and time again he has been left out as an option from the bench. Very capable. On screen is the head coach for Rajkumar, formerly head coach of Samtsi, who ended up being relegated, but so far with THIMPHU did a decent job, was a part of their squad since the qualifiers, out of which he got them promoted top rank above Drukpa, back then Namla. As PARO find a decent angle in, Yuta Mishima clipped off. THIMPHU did well defending that one. Tariq accurate on that as well. Send it out driven. But despite that many bodies in the way, still managed to find Yuta Mishima. At least a shot manifested at the end of it. So many times we've seen here in the BoB Bhutan Premier League that such promising build-up, such promising possessions end up without even a shot flying off towards the opposition. As this time Abdul Balde gets past. Did a decent job getting past Udoka Bahu. But again, back out to Baitika. There's Toji, 23. For THIMPHU FC, may want to look to drive it out long. Siddharth, target right down middle. But it is Tomoyuki with that header, sends it out. Yuta Mishima almost won it over. Utoka Ebao in that jersey duo. Despite the difference in stature, amazing effort there from Yuta Mishima to get a head on that ball. But it is THIMPHU FC's to take the other way. Back out to Udoka. Jimmy. Trying to cut in Nyima. Plenty of physicality there from Nyima. But Tencho this time trying to launch one in towards that right flank. But the flag is up nonetheless. Opportunity denied. The Tigers to take the other way. Terekazi, a lot of help. Only Chizoba Christopher Yakobe up front. Siddharth bolstering that cover on that left side. But still, too little. 4 versus 2. It is now PARO through Terekazi. A lot of space down the flank. Tomoyuki sending it down the middle. Nyima given a lot of freedom to operate centrally as well. Kazi just a tad too much pace there on that ball up front to Cavani, who was making a solid run. Had that advantage in terms of pace, had a lot of space to work with as well. Just unfortunate there, but can't really complain about his production. Started the campaign late already. Chizova Christopher. Apologies, Abdul Balde. 5 goals to his name. Pretty up there with goals right alongside Sanya. So an amazing record given the number of appearances he had. Only 6 games he played, I believe. Well, on screen, head coach Pushpalal. A very stern man. Not quite sure how he is personally. But well, his interviews are a thing of legend here in the Bhutan football scene. And so far, back with PARO, doing an amazing job. Has brought in so many amazing talents, and although it is beneficial for PARO directly, indirectly it also helps out with exposure for a lot of youngsters, for a lot of players who may not get the chance ever to play internationally. This season, Richard Sania alongside the Gambian pair and Siddiqui and Balde up front have been excellent signings. As to how they got Terekazi as well, simply unfortunate there, but did well on the recovery. Not quite sure if that was how he imagined the execution, but ended up getting the result anyway. Ball played up front, Tenzin Toji with the interception. Tarikazi. Still the same build-up from their side. Muhibullah getting a bit daring. Tries up down the middle. Tincho Kelson got a foot in. Tincho Neo looking for Wilson all the way on the other end. Nyima backtracking, gets there right in time. Advantage tonight, but Wilson steadily making progress down on that left. Tried to cut it in, but Nyima got a foot in. Solid defending there from Chutur. But it is THIMPHU's ball nonetheless. Chimochu taking that ball in over. Wilson wanting him to get involved a bit further up. Jimmy sent down with quite a solid challenge there. Not really enough to want to whistle over there, but it is still too early maybe for that sort. Yep, had that leg all the way up. Early on did see PARO FC women's debut on pretty much every one of their newest signings. Had 4 Gambians joining their ranks alongside a couple players from Nepal. RTC on the other end has brought in a Japanese, a Filipino as well. And right now, all of the signings for PARO getting to work inside that box as that header sends it up high. Not quite sure who the final contact was, but the referee has signaled it out for a corner. Kelton making his appeal. But once a call has been made, can't really get around it, can you? Siddharth getting ready all the way down. A lot of targets inside. Tenzin Namge, amazing height on the man. But it may be Stefan Abeku, Zoka, BoB, Richard Wilson as well, who's very explosive. His vertical gets him pretty high up. Initiative lost, however, they still get the follow-up. Kritish Ratna Chunjo, solid delivery. But that girl came in way too early there to have any chance as Yuta Mishima got up in the air. Kritish did not see him coming. How could he have also Yuta Mishima all the way up? Again, a closer look at that one. Chunju, all he was doing, looking at the ball. But Yuta seems like he was okay. Both teams, no clear initiative right now. 20 minutes in, PARO FC's possession. THIMPHU, most of their players inside their own half. Tika has been solid, but he may want to get a little bit more involvement from his defense if he wants to keep those chances over from PARO at a bare minimum. Sanya, solid vision there. Despite the many bodies in the way, Sokavani, who may be looking to get cheeky right behind by Tika. Tencho. Still Tencho. Richard Wilson. PARO at its most scattered right now. This may be their best opportunity in a long while. But that step over will not help him get an angle against the amazing defensive form there from Nyima. At least in the first 20 minutes, no successful dribbles past Nyima right now from Richard Wilson. 2 proper times they faced one-on-one. And both of those times in Nyima's favor, but in midfield a completely different story. Chunju, Chisova, all he's got to do is put it in, but ended up going parallel to the goal line. Amazing strength on that dribble, just forced it away from Gelson Zangpo's hands. A closer look at that one as well. That first one got it past Gelson. Mohib Pulla right there, just fortunate for PARO that Mohib did not get a touch in on that one. Close call there from THIMPHU, but that may have awakened the Tigers, who are looking for one in. Does not go in, but the flag is up nonetheless. Oh. The assistant referee flagged that final run offside. So it will be a breath of fresh air for THIMPHU FC. Again, a closer look at that one. Balde onside, Sanya maybe not. Tight margins, but the flag is up nonetheless. Udoka, amazing touch there from the centre back. Easy to underestimate that level of play there, but up front, Richard Wilson unable to find a teammate, either Tengcho or Chisova. Siddiqui. Tarikazi. Down the middle, Tomoyuki Uno. Back out to Kazi. And Moebulla. Siddiqui all the way down on the flank. Sanya coming in. Balde. Clean touch in. Slow possession. But PARO getting all of their teammates involved. We do have a slight wind picking up here at Changlemetang. Pretty sure that is laden with rain. Somewhere far over. Hopefully it stays away long enough until the end of the match. Because right now, as it stands, both teams will need the best conditions to get one in. If it was raining, we would see something worse than that one. Wilson all the way up front. Clean challenge there from Nyema. Got it right on the ball. Strong possession there on the other end, but Chunju making short work of it. Down the middle, Jimmy. Wilson has gotten back up on the other end as well, so good signs for THIMPHU. Stefan Beku. Jimmy. Intense pressure there. Cavani got to it first, but Baitika right in the way of that one. Still, follow up, maybe a chance, but Baitika says no, no, no. Amazing goalkeeper there from goalkeeping there from Tenzin Doji. May not be happy with his defenders there. Took a bit of a risk there with the nonchalance on that pass that gave Cavani that first chance. And now Nyuma. Still Nyuma. Sanya. Still Sanya. Knocked down, and this time the referee will intervene. Udoka wanting to help Sanya up. Again, a closer look at that one. Seems like, well, Udoka just simply tried to get out, just couldn't move that right foot out of the way. Got him where it hurts the most. But seems like it barely missed. It seems like contact was with the inner thigh. So reasonably pissed off. Richard Sanya will, however, do his best to try and calm down going forward. A lot of hype on that run up. Nyima runs far. Sanya right down the wall towards Wilson. Still following up. Siddharth gets a clean touch in. Chisova making a run in past Yuki Uno. Only two in that back line. Sir Siddharth may want to hold on to it for a bit longer. Getting a bit more teammates involved. Tincho Kelson looking to get one in from way downtown. Is on target, but ended up on the ground first. Made it an easy pickup there for Gelson Zangpo. PARO. Utah did well reacting to that shot, but Udoka hugging him right from behind. Left no clean angle for that one to go in. As Baitika seems like he is dealing with something. A closer look at that one. A clean driven one in from Cavani. Past Ingenio as well. A minute away from the half an hour mark. Both teams still down 0-0. As the medic has been called in for THIMPHU. Udoka Eboawu down on the ground. Not quite sure if Udoka Eboawu will be able to continue. They do have options in their back line. Eche Prince John was a part of THIMPHU Ravens up in the qualifiers. It could be an option if they come in, but it is back in possession for THIMPHU. Tenzin to look for a teammate. Seems like that delivery is towards Siddharth, who went down. Could have gotten at the end of that. Ball played up. But now Sanya still. THIMPHU making an appeal for a handball call there, but this time a bit too entangled. Not quite sure if you saw that, but Sanya and Wilson got up in perfect harmony. Their motions were synchronized just then, but tried to get a quick restart off. Sanya. Too outstretched on that one. But it is still Sanya's to take. Trying it right down the middle between Siddharth and Wilson. Tomoyuki Uno, not many angles. That right flank may be there on the option. Nyima cuts in. Now far out Siddiqui, his long shots are absolutely powerful, and yes, the Gambian with the missile of a shot, despite the save, forced his way off the crossbar and in. What a strike there! Celebrations understandably underway as Siddiqui rejuvenating the crowd with a single-handed effort there. A closer look at that. Too much space for that wind-up. No dip whatsoever. Tenzin thought he had that saved. But no chance with that one. What power on that effort from Siddiqui. Even if the cameras we had 120 frames, pretty sure that bull would look like it was zipping in slow motion. What an effort there from Siddiqui, as PARO now up by 1. With that shot, Utah, still Utah! Minutes in, and Utah has doubled the lead already! Blazingly quick, blazingly efficient, as Utah climbs up again as the top scorer in the BoB Bhutan Premier League 2026 season. 9 goals now in his campaign. And what a calm way to find his 9th. PARO FC's fans now on a nostalgic high after 2 amazing efforts. Siddiqui had that coming for a long while. The power on his shot, he kept trying and trying again, but this time gets everything correct and following up. Yuta Mishima completely capitalizing on the gaps THIMPHU FC's defense showed. A bit more than 10 minutes remain. Terikazi lets it draw Wilson right there, but Gelson gets to it first. Sanya, a bit calm in their pace right now. PARO, no need to rush. THIMPHU, on the other hand, may not want to grab the bait that is being set up by PARO. Chance opening up again. Jimmy gets it towards Utoka. Stefan Abeku. Senjo may want to at least get one in before the halftime break so that the pressure is a little bit eased up. But an amazing breakthrough instantaneously on the other side. Utah again! Utah! 10 goals in this campaign and counting down! Now 3 for PARO. 2 goals inside 3 minutes. The 33rd where he found his first, the 36th where he found his second. And PARO FC on an absolute heat check as they continue on with this onslaught against THIMPHU, who look like, despite their chances early on, may not have their answer, at least in this half. Wilson faked off that first one. That angle still denied by Nyema. Amazing job keeping up with the THIMPHU winger. Tencho tried to drive it down the middle. Ended up clipping, but recovered there by Tencho Neo. Kept down the line. Left foot deflected off of Mohipula. Still THIMPHU's to take. Tencho Kelsen winding up. Sanya in the way. And that shot too wild to go anywhere near Gelson Zangpo. Nyema looking to cut one in. Cleaned up on that right. Abduli. Balde Utah inside. Utah right now on track for the fastest hat-trick of the season. I do believe the record is with Park Rome over for Timber City. 14 minutes all it took to go from the first to the third. Utah right now only 6 minutes away from his first goal. So well within reach if PARO can get that. Didn't really get that going for them, did they? As now THIMPHU. This time Utah again. Amazing work rate up front. Running is Balde. Now offside. Sanya looking to cut in. Sanya still clipped off on the wing. Follow up there, but it is right towards Tenzin Tochi. Five minutes left on the clock. Utoka. Tenzin steadily closing in. Yuta Mishima thought that was a mistake there, but still found an outlet. Jimmy tried to get one up front, but it is PARO with a calm retrieval. Balde Over to Titim Namgyal. Now back to Sanya coming in from behind. Siddharth almost had a poke at the ball himself. Senjo. Chizoba. Back out Senjo Neo. Still Chizoba. Had the vision to get that through right past Mohipullah. But Siddharth just unable to muscle his way in between those two giant centre backs. There's now Tenzin Dochi, up to him to carry that progression forward. Steph Udoka, quick outlet, Stefan Abeku. Kritish Chunju cuts one in. Richard Wilson took way too long, staggering there until that ball went right across that line. Utah tried to flick it in towards a teammate, but it was Jimmy who ended up with possession. And now Wilson up front, cutting in. Siddharth. Kritish Chunju, Wilson. Tenzin sends it out long, but Chizoba offside on that one. Did not expect that ball to come back in that early. Gelson having a little bit of fun with Siddharth. And now up to Kazi. Has Nyuma right down the line. Will drive it right down the middle. Coming in hot is Cavani. Stefan Abeku able to get a foot in. Forces PARO to retreat. Gives his team instead plenty of time to regroup. Cavani flicked it up high above Udoka, but unable to follow it up. Back out to Tenzin. Kritish Chunju. Now up, Chizoba tried to do a little bit too much, but still possession alive. Wilson winding up. Had a decent trajectory on that ball, just could have made it a bit tighter towards the post. Not really getting the opportunities to get right in, find a dribble and find a pass that gets them a much better chance on goal. They will have to resort to long ranges if they want to get in there first, because up against PARO's defense they are unable to find anything at all, as 2 more minutes have been added until the end of the first half.
There will be 2 minutes of additional time.
Senjo Neo. Tomoyuki Uno. Terikazi. Accurate down the middle. Served it around the referee. And now on that left, looking to wind it up with that right, expecting an overlap much earlier. Tencha Nero unable to get to it first. Tomoyuki. Sanya. Siddiqui getting involved. You may not want a replay of that one. But this time driven down to the ground off to the side of the net. Thimphu's players for sure had deja vu seeing Siddiqui wind up that left foot with that much space in front of him. Chizova trying his best. Mohib Pulla gets to it first, puts his body on the line, and no angle there for Mohib. Sencho. Stefan Mbeku right down the middle, but Sencho getting that ball up himself. Jimmy Wanshu getting involved. Richard Wilson now in the middle. Jimmy off to Sencho on the flank, taking on that matchup versus Nyema. Forced one in, now off the sidelines. Chance. Siddharth looking for the follow-up, but Gelson right in the way of that ball. And with that, the first half ends with a decent chance there for THIMPHU, but unable to convert. PARO will go on to the locker room with an astonishing 3 goals. And that's right from Siddiqui. My oh my. But until the second half resumes, this was your commentator, Ugintesh Toji. Do let me know what you think the trajectory of the second half will be like, because right now THIMPHU may need a couple of changes if they want any sort of hope against PARO FC's back line. But until we see that, peace out. Ladies and gentlemen, Kuzongpo, and welcome back to the second half of what so far has been an exciting clash between PARO and THIMPHU, if you can even call it that. Right now, completely one-sided. PARO finding 3 goals inside the span of 5 minutes, maybe 6 if you stretch it a little bit. It started off with an amazing strike from Siddiqui Jawara that had so much power in that, despite being saved, simply willed his way right in. And in the confusion that followed, Yuta Mishima has gone on to score 2 more. And right out of the gates, PARO FC coming in strong. They do look promising. Richard Sanya, referee, holding on to his whistle for now. St. Gelson looking to drive right in the middle, but unable to find an angle. Pot Sitim Namgil did have a substitution being carried out for THIMPHU FC during the halftime break. It was Karmato Jimachu, 46, brought in for Jimachu, as now Chisova on the other end, but 2 defenders in the way of that even before Gelson could ever see that ball develop towards the net, and that enough to intimidate it all the way outside. A closer look at that one. Mohipullah, the first line, but Chisova did not really need anyone in front of him for that shot. Sergio Gelson, solid motor. Neo helping out, does well, screening off the defender coming in. Chance early on. THIMPHU had that one close call earlier. Open net, just couldn't find an answer in, but this time it will roll right out. Engineer working hard, trying to keep that ball on line still for THIMPHU, but the flag is up. Did his best, but just not enough. It will be PARO's throw in to take. Also a reminder to our fans as to what is at stake right now for PARO, top of the table at the end of round 1. A very clear possibility right now, unless we see a miracle from the side of THIMPHU. They are 19th and 19 points on second place, right between Timber City and Transport United, first and third, who have 20 and 18. A tight top 3 who finally have distinguished themselves from the rest of the pack. As for THIMPHU, right below RTC, who are at 4th, THIMPHU's chance to overtake them today. The point difference 1, 13 and 14. And a chance to get within reach of 3rd place, Transport United. So a lot left waiting for THIMPHU, who despite the shaky start has been at all places in the leaderboard, to be fair, throughout the entirety of this season. Was there bottom, is here now middle. Steady progress in and upwards the trajectory. But they have finally faced their biggest hurdle in the way. PARO, 3 dominating goals, one of them possibly goal of the season as well, that one from Siddiqui Jawara. That flick up high, anybody's ball in this chaos. Header flicks it back right in for Yuta Mishima, hands it off over to the sides. Kinga, space, pass Sincha Neo, but will decide to go for that pass instead. Tomoyuki Uno, challenge coming in, harsh there from Siddharth. And the referee coming in instantaneously as PARO hands themselves a set piece in a dangerous position. In that one, planted that foot way too deep. That ball already long gone. Richard Sanya. Hasn't found one for himself so far, but his record simply unbelievable. 5 goals, 7 assists. And continuing to build on as Central Kelson. An open lane. One-on-one opportunity coming in quick. Nima, Central Kelson, shot goes off, but Kelson with a fantastic denial right at the final step of that break. Central Kelson Not much comfort there, to be fair, in that final stretch. Nyima coming in close, breathing down on his neck as he ran that final sprint. And by that time, Gelson positioned quite brilliantly. Was enough to offset that shot and offset the hopes Timber City may have had with that run. PARO's defenders got way too up. Maybe a wake-up call as THIMPHU mounting yet another one. This time Siddiqui header sends it right back out. Wilson tried to get a touch in. Keeps it under control, however. Stefan Abeku unable to get one in. Was late, but PARO playing advantage this time. Unable to get that pass up to a teammate. It is Sinchanio down on the right for THIMPHU. Chizowa cuts in. Siddharth is low. Sencho at the end of it, winding up. That double team coming in is enough. A nightmare here for CG7 as his team continues on with their drought. 3 from PARO has gone without a response, and right now doesn't seem like one is coming anytime soon. Their clearest chance, denied time and time again. Asterikazi. Kelsen may have had a bit too much fun there. But now back to Baitika. Udoka went down early on in the first half, but seems like he will be good enough to continue on. Tarikazi, yellow card for that handball. It was Richard Wilson who had Kazi beaten with the marvellous flick down the line. A closer look at that one. Yup, simply kept it in. Decent one in, but not enough power. Chizoba coming back out on the right. Saint Neo steadily closing in. Kinga. Namge did well getting there, headed in towards a teammate. Siddharth knocked down by a siding challenge coming from Siddiqui Jawara. A closer look at that one. Yup, no ambition for the ball. Siddharth right in between that challenge. Sent down, and this time no card for that one, but THIMPHU will get a chance. They may want to relish as deliciously as they possibly can, because the scoreboard right now 3 up. PARO. THIMPHU may want to get at least one there to make the next half an hour much easier. Surely a bit reckless there from Siddiqui, but does get away without any consequences on that one. As Sergio Kelson, a similar setup to that knuckleball against RTC, this time up against PARO. Maybe time to see one of them come in, but driven right down the wall. Siddharth Kelson, yes! Amazing efforts from the goalkeeper on the first one, but will not be denied for that long. Stefan Abeku, blessed with the rebound, clinical with the execution, left foot. Gelson right there as well, had the read correct, got the reaction in time, and now momentum with THIMPHU. THIMPHU Gelson baiting that final touch off of PARO. THIMPHU Neo looking for it quick. Siddharth right up inside, shoved out of the way. But it still may be THIMPHU's to play.
Goal for THIMPHU FC, scored by just number 20, Stefan Abeku.
Tenzin. Plenty of strength on that ball up front. Still kept alive. And he wants to take up in the air. Paro manages to clear it off. But out of bounds it is. PARO FC now 3, THIMPHU 1. 2 left. If THIMPHU can mount a surprising comeback here at Changlemetang. Lots of chances if those two amazing opportunities had gone in earlier for THIMPHU. The first one was that open net opportunity where Gelson was beat. All he had to do was place it in. Went parallel to the goal line and out. And the other was THIMPHU Gelson's amazing run. That one-on-one versus Gelson. Plenty of pressure from behind by Nyima, but wasted again. Scooped up possession on that one. Scooped up a bit of leg with that one as well. As PARO will get the whistle this time around from the referee. 57 minutes in, only 2 left. Kazi rushing in, stopped right down the middle by Sania. Not quite sure what happened there. As PARO putting in a quick press. They do not want to let THIMPHU enjoy this momentum for any longer than they already have. But Siddharth will find an avenue nonetheless. Try to get a pass in. Mohib, heavy touch there. THIMPHU Gelson turn around. One-on-one against Kazi. Has enough speed. THIMPHU Gelson winding up, but had so many angles open. Sent it towards the worst one possible. But kudos to Gelson Zangpo as well, who made a fantastic save with that one. A closer look at that. Amazing motor, but even more than that, smart choice in the angle in which he took that run. Just got him past, just made it awkward for Sitim Namge there. As yet another close call, but this time not much to go on. Siddiqui dropped on the wing, grimacing with a lot of pain, but finally does get the attention of the referee. Siddiqui opened the scoring today with the definition of a bullet. So many shots we call bullet, but he let off one that actually was one. No dip in the ball. So much power. Tenzin, despite saving it, that ball simply willed its way back of the net as PARO on the other end cannot find the connection with Yuta Mishima this time around. Mohibullah. Siddiqui down on the flanks. Tomoyuki Uno down the middle. They do have THIMPHU as well as an option. A manageable goal difference this time around at the 60-minute mark. As Yuta Mishima shoved out of the way there by Tenzin Namgyal. Siddiqui floated it out to that right flank. That left foot may be opening up. Follow up. PARO still in possession on that right against a triple team. Outlet towards the middle, but Tomoyuki Uno launches it off to the moon instead. At least it was a decent build-up from PARO, despite the quality of the shot that capped it all off. A lot left in this game, half an hour still to go. Only about 6 minutes it took for PARO to find all three of their goals. If they can find a similar opportunity inside the second half, well, everyone who came here at Changlemetang may get more than their money's worth. A bit awkward there. Tried to get it overhead back towards Tsincho Gelson. But now Tsincho Neo, that challenge clean against Tomoyuki. Tsincho Gelson floated above. Mohibullah, clearance failed. Tsincho Gelson still, this time gets past Gelson Zangpo. No angle for the finish. Two defenders in the way, lobs it up high. Waiting for that header, which sends it the other way. Kritish does well holding on to that possession. Still THIMPHU's to take this time. Mohibullah clears it off perfectly. Sanya, however, unable to keep it under control down the middle. Stefan Abeku, the man who found their first answer. Now a flick inside. Clipped off on that possession there by Kazi. But the referee holding on to his whistle. Not quite sure as to what the extent of that collision was. A closer look at that. Siddharth right up inside, and as Kazi fell, Siddharth fell as well. Richard Sanya, Siddiqui, a lot of targets inside. Lost one in, but it is headed clear by THIMPHU. Wilson, a troubling hour here at Changlemetang today for THIMPHU's number 10, but hopefully he is able to come alive. PARO, chance, Yuta. Opportunity denied. As the substitution is coming in for PARO, it is Purpo Wangchu coming in for Sitim Namgyal. Siddiqui, back out, instant impact, but stolen off by Tsincho. Unable to find an angle on that clearance. That challenge from behind, perfectly timed. But PARO still in possession. They could make something happen right now, but Tsincho Neo's clearance way off from Chizoba Christopher, who he was hoping was at the end of that. That clearance keeps it right down the middle. PARO looking for a winder. Richard Sanya inside, looking to pass it right back. Yuta Mishima in the middle. A header keeps it in. That volley fails from Sanya. And finally it is Utoka who finds that deflection for a goal kick for Tenzin. Strong header there in response from Siddiqui. Cavani. Still Cavani. Taking on that matchup, has enough space to get past the defender. Now behind. This time that double team came in clean contact with the ball. THIMPHU down on the flanks. Richard Wilson. Siddharth making a run up front. That ball will be for number 4. Still Siddharth. Also a substitution coming in. A familiar face for PARO fans. Coming in for THIMPHU is William Opoku Asidu. Was a part of PARO FC's campaign last year. Had that goal versus East Bengal in that penalty, if you guys may remember. Signed alongside Chizoba Christopher Ikobe, the pair. A Ghanaian and the Nigerian has been clinical up front. But not quite sure why William has not really been getting the minutes. Is a decent midfielder otherwise. PARO down on the flanks. Flag is up on that challenge. Kritish Chunju doing all he can. 2 goals the margin to beat right now to force a draw. 3 they need to get in a win. A closer look at that one. Well, way late to that challenge. That angle was much better. Sania with the yellow card. It was Tarikazi who got that first one earlier. Beautiful chance if they play their cards right off of this setup. PARO, a lot of numbers inside. Siddiqui, Abduli Balde, Mohibullah far post. A lot on the minds of Tenzin Toji right now, as their hard-earned opener may be brought to danger again. Lofted up, far post, Mohibullah, header back, rebound off of the save and finally cleared out. Tomoyuki, follow up, but interception is neat. Plenty happening inside the box during that action. But solid reflexes from Tenzin and the rest of his team on that defensive effort will keep PARO at bay again. Will have to hunt their fourth from somewhere else. Abduli Palde. Over to Kinga. Siddiqui coming in. Trying to wind up Neo, does well. And sent it off all the way over to the other side. Not quite sure if there's a deflection, but it is THIMPHU's to play nonetheless. Right down the middle, Kritish Chunju. Not many options going forward. Yuta putting enough pressure behind him. And now Siddharth. Chizoba. An option up front. William a bit far back. Got past Tomoyuki, but handed up possession at the same time towards PARO. Kelson up long. Nyima's header. The first touches for William Opoku Asidu. Kinga against Neo. Down the middle. Yuta hands it over to Sanya. Tsitim left behind Sanya. Left foot. Decent vision to send that ball out, but unable to find an angle towards getting any hint of a touch there. Kelson Zangpus to take the other way. A quiet stretch after those string of goals. Been a bit more than a quarter of an hour without seeing a conversion, but plenty of drama nonetheless. As Siddiqui launches one off to the sky on the other end. A hefty touch there from the other end as well, as PARO will find a breakthrough options right down the middle as well. Yuta Mishima! Close on that one. Tenzin not happy with his defenders at all. Wanted to make an appeal there towards the referee as well. But he will have to be satisfied with the fact that Yuta missed wide on that one. Amazing positioning up in front from the defender. Forced that shot far out. Just a distraction of the proper angle being blocked off enough to falter that shot. Tenjo up in the air, flicks it back. Mohipula clears it off. Chizoba kept in control. Tencho, harsh touch there, but William Opoku, miscommunication between 7 and 42. And now Sanya up front to Oscar Valley, but despite his pace, just way too far out. Karma with the throw in, brought in as a sub early on for Jimmy. As now Kinga unable to find the answer past Tenzin Namgyel. Richard Wilson. Tencho. Wilson making a run down on that left. Tencho will take that one himself. Look at shots like this one from a guy like Tencho Kelson, just to have a small comprehension with regards to the quality of that first goal from Siddiqui Jawara. To those of you who missed it, do follow BoB Bhutan Premier League and Bhutan Football Federation on Facebook to see that goal and its replay in its fullest glory. And also with regards to information, updates and news with regards to round 2 of the BoB Bhutan Premier League, because today it is the last match of round 1, capping off with a match between St. Kelson led THIMPHU FC and the reigning champions PARO. Corner opportunity, PARO taking it short, basing that challenge at the corner of the box. This time not much success from PARO, who may be getting a bit too ambitious given the first shot that fell in for them. Now out for Tenzin. Just a bit too much power there from Tenzin. Hands possession right over to PARO, looking to steadily match THIMPHU in terms of numbers inside THIMPHU's half, but that final outlet will not find the answer they need as St. Neil launches one up front down on the wing. Kazi making a clean intervention there against Richard Wilson. Chizoba, William Opoku Esidu. Launch it off long. Tencho Kelson all the way on the other end. Driven right down the middle. Contact Tomoyuki Uno. Tencho Neo, however, may look Well, he looks for a teammate. THIMPHU to THIMPHU, and right now inside Mohibullah sends it up high. Kritishanju making a run in for that ball, gets it towards Chizoba. Off the left, Wilson, it is high, but Mohib makes no mistake with that header. Silat keeping it under control. May have wanted a better opportunity for a shot, but in times like these, you just let one loose. Also with that, we have a sub coming in for THIMPHU. It is Richard Wilson. Coming out, coming in is their youngster, Sonam Jigdril Chezang. A part of their squad since the qualifiers. Very talented as well up in front. As head coach Raj will decide that he will be better going forward. Paro on the other end seems like they are ready to make a couple of substitutions of their own as well.
Junior is replaced by just number 9, Sonam Jigdril Chezang.
THIMPHU. THIMPHU Gelson unable to cut in. Sania now off to Cavani. Kinga on the left. THIMPHU Neo taking that assignment, closing down quick is Kritishanju. Kinga, a lot of space and off of their own personnel. THIMPHU FC has made it 4 for Paro. Udoka tried to clear it off, ended up sending it into his own nets. Amazing effort nonetheless from Paro to have created that much chaos in that backline for THIMPHU, and it ends up paying off as well. Solid pass back from Cavani over to Kinga, who put in just enough pressure there on Udoka to find the 4th goal for Paro. All the hope they gained off of that goal from Stefan Abeku. Now a distant memory again, as they will have to find 3 more to at least have a hope of getting a point. Kinga, Siddiqui Jawara, a nonchalant swing and reached all the way over to the other side. Cavani, Yuta Mishima, and there are the substitutions coming in. Tomoyuki coming out, Musa Khan, who we haven't seen in a long while, is coming back in. And alongside him, it is Somsring Doji. Will be brought in over Kinga. Substitutions now underway. It is Paro back in possession, but that head up all over to the side.
Substitution for PARO FC, just number 11, Kinga is replaced by just number 24, Sonam Jigdril, and just number 5, Tomoyuki Uno is replaced by just number 6, Mahmoud Musa.
Chaotic right up inside, but THIMPHU will find an outlet nonetheless. Decent effort. Kelton manages to block it off somehow. So that's still juke drill an option far out, but it will go to THIMPHU. But Musa Khan gets his first interception of the day. Cavani ready for a run all the way down on the flank. THIMPHU Neo facing a two-pronged attack. Cavani up in front, dancing around THIMPHU Neo. Still managed to keep his balance somehow. Just in the pressure there. Yuta Mishima inside. Still Paros to take. Left foot blocked off. Terikazi down the middle. This time moved up front with Musa Khan coming in behind in that partnership alongside Mohibullah. Richard Sanya. Kritish Chunju right behind, but THIMPHU right now looking like they have had the life taken out of them as that left foot powering in. Rebound! But the flag will be up. Tenzin Doji has done well denying that first one. And again, more substitutions coming in for PARO. Mohibullah and Nyimongdi taken out. Coming in is Ugentochi, who we haven't seen in a while as well, alongside Kezantochi. Now Siddiqui and Musa Khan in that centre back position. Ugen and Kezdoji on the flanks. Musa has the whistle called on him. THIMPHU right inside. THIMPHU! Opportunity point blank, but got blocked off. So much confusion in that one. THIMPHU got that deflection off of Musa Khan. But Keza did well defending that one. Solid yet again. Now the other way. But got in right on time. Kritish Chunju. Settling in for yet another chance from the corner flag. Yuta Mishima clears it off. Cavani thought there was nobody down that middle. Ended up being Teznamge. Tenchi Kelson. Touch right inside. Some joke draw. Decent chance up front for the youngsters off of a wonderful setup there by William Wopoku. Hard to find chances like that one, and they just had to send it out of control. Cavani. Yuta Mishima posted up front. Slipped, but while doing so, still managed to get an outlet out front if they had a runner. As now, THIMPHU. Over to PARO. Purpa. Keza. Keza Dochi taking that matchup right down the middle. They do have a lot of options they could work with. Decided to send it over to the other side. Richard Sanya. Still Sanya. Gets in. Expected a runner over on that right flank. Set it up quite beautifully, in fact. Now 5 more minutes left. PARO on the right. Tried to force one in, but off of a deflection, it will be PARO FC's corner. Header was from PARO, but now on the other side, Siddiqui, that left foot may want to be given a bit more respect. Cavani on the other end tries one in for himself, making an appeal there for a touch there from Tenzin, but that shot pretty high over the crossbar for any sort of promise on that one. Again, did well letting it roll right over. Tinchkazan on the other end putting a lot of pressure, wins it right back. She's over down the middle, but unable to get past the second challenge. Siddiqui down right inside the center circle, the referee. PARO. Keza tried to get one in up front towards Abdul Balde, but now Tinchel Neo all tangled up. Tinchel Neo, the veteran, decides to send it in down the middle. William, but now Tariq Kazi off to PARO. Sania finding the space to turn around. Utah right up front. A lot of pressure coming in. THIMPHU crumbling. Still PARO's to take off on that right flank. But Baitika makes a solid save this time around as 5 more minutes have been added until the end of the game. Cavani Flicked up by Sania Abduli Balde, point blank. No mistakes, off of a nonchalant assist right in. All the confidence in the world on that assist and all the composure Abduli Balde could muster in that finish. As PARO will continue on with their onslaught with one more goal to their tally.
Goal for PARO FC scored by just number 7, Abduli Balde.
Chisova gets one in, far end of the box, volley, but no connection there from THIMPHU. PARO in the dying stretch, already at 5. This now puts them on a 7-game win streak and in 7 matches. Well, 34 goals forwarded and only 4 goals allowed. Look at that ratio. But still the chance to keep counting it up. But right now, THIMPHU in possession. Chance now from afar, clipped off, not enough elevation in that one to get it over the defenders that were compacting the edge of the box. Sencho still trying to find a way. Neo! Decent look there from the veteran. Again, lofted up inside. Yuta Mishima. Challenge came in and couldn't get enough power. And that one, Tenzin very much grateful for that effort. But Chizoba now up front. William on the help, but it is back out to Gelson. Back out with Okai Bawu. There's Namge. Sencho Kelsen. The last glimmer of hope in this last minute here. As THIMPHU trying to find a way in, down on that left flank, steadily inside the box, but a solid effort on that defensive end will force that final touch off of THIMPHU. And it is Kelson Zangpo's to take. Abduli. Enough pace, but the goalkeeper there much earlier can't get the clearance off. The last couple of seconds of play. PARO may want to blitz this one. 5 already on the board. 1 from THIMPHU. 1 courtesy of a known goal from Udoka. But PARO looking to light it up one more time. Yuta Mishima on his way towards a hat-trick. 2 to his name right now. But shot flying off. Rebound opportunity. PARO help inside. But got that intercepted, got that sent off, and that will be it. The closure of round 1 of the BoB Bhutan Premier League, and PARO conclude this round top of the table. 22 points, first place, 2 clear of second. Now second place Timbu City, who are down at 20, and much safer away from Transport United, down at 18. Thimphu did their best, but they will continue on. Fifth, at least 13 points still, as they move on to round 2 of the BoB Bhutan Premier League. We will be updating the fixtures for round 2 on our social media pages later on. So do follow BoB Bhutan Premier League over on Facebook, BoB Women's National League, alongside the Bhutan Football Federation pages as well. But with that out of the way, today's match ends in a dominant victory from PARO 5 and THIMPHU FC 1. Until the next one, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys to all our audience as well who turned up here in Chang Limitang. And many congratulations to PARO as well for concluding round 1 top of the table. Until round 2 begins, this was your commentator, Ugintesh Toji. See you guys when we are back in action.